and welcome back on Earth. So, I just had to bring another load of materials from our mining outpost because we ran out of basically everything. And yeah, today will be an episode full of base building and trying to finish what we had as incomplete building parts so far, specifically our gallery and the storage facility with the one refinery in it. And yeah, I'm starting to really get annoyed by the offset placement of this connector in the rover. But yeah, I don't want to redo the whole design just for that. Just have to get used to it. So, off screen I have been extending the base building a little bit, mostly with unfinished blocks. So I did close up this hallway with another door, and over here is a armory and some pipeworks, and added another set of cargo and refill station terminals here, all wired up below ground with the storage area, so that we have access to everything from here and don't have to run into the garage or the medical room every time when we need something. So yeah, let me quickly weld the interior parts up of this hallway, and then I can show you a bit what I did on the top. Alright, it doesn't look like much, but here we are. This is our hallway, now more or less finished. I'm still not really happy about this block here. Need to find something else that fits well with the armory lockers. But other than that, I think this is okay. Ah, this part was still missing. Okay, now it's better. Yeah, bit of pipeworks here just to finish that up. I might replace this block later with another window frame just to make it fit in well or nicer in this area. I did change all the doors to be active on 1 meter distance. So like I said in one of the earlier episodes, I'm not using a mod for automated opening and closing because having every door automatic is getting a bit tedious, and I don't like to manually having to open and close them. It does offer airlock settings, but to my knowledge, it's currently not working very well, so I'm not using that. Except for one case, but I will get into that topic once we are in a place where we actually need to manage our airlocks, like in space. But here on Earth, it's not that important. Yeah, a bit of light still shining through the corners of those blocks because nothing is at the top at the moment. But talking about the top, I did extend this hallway a little bit, and I can see there's still one block missing. Resources for that, so let's get some more construction components and then we can finish building that together. Yes, so we had our hallway here, and again, this one is very dark. I might need to add another light hallway like in the middle, but it gives a nice gallery view or overview of the storage area, and then we can get into the area that will be the gallery and office rooms, and also living quarters for anyone working on the station. Yeah, so far I did extend the building a little bit to define the outer shape of the gallery that comes here, and closed off the top of the storage area with some base blocks that are not welded yet. I tried to mimic the same shape on this side as on the other, but yeah, still no big decorations at the top of the building because honestly I need to see that in a finished state to have a better idea what I want to have here. But one thing for sure that we will need is maybe on top of the highest block here, a bit of, yeah, antennas and receiving devices and so on to, yeah, be able to use a local higher range antenna than what we have on our suit. Because so far we have been relying on our rover being with active antenna sitting there and providing the antenna range for us, but that one is currently turning it off when it's docked with a base, which is intended, but the base itself needs its own antenna. So, but that's not something for today or for now. Instead, we will now go and use our new shrimp that we built last time, our welding ship, to, yeah, weld up all the blocks that belong to the space, and then continue with the interior design and also finish off the storage area room, close it off so that we have a sealed chamber and an attachment point for our drone hub. Oh, and I can see that I forgot to add a row of blocks over here. I will fix that later. Alright, then yeah, see you in a bit after I've welded up everything. Well, I nearly crashed our welder 1 or 2 times there. Still need to get used to the vehicle, and also I probably should really update the braking thrusters, because I totally overestimated how fast that would brake, and I basically crashed into one of the turrets at the top. So let me see if that one received any damage. No, not really. Okay, that's good. Yeah, couple of smaller loose ends here that I need to solve and fix that I didn't see before. But that's not a big deal to solve. So let's see. How did we finish this over here? Ah, okay. Different plate on this end. That must have been this one. like so. And then we can close it off with that panel, yeah. Alright, yeah, that should more or less mimic the other side. No. Oh, okay. That was an unexpected or unplanned modification. I didn't realize that it was well, not mirrored on the other side. And yeah, I need that symmetry in this in this building. So yeah, I redid this part that goes into the main building, and now it's mirrored on both sides, and I think we gained a little bit of space on the top side in this room. So let's head inside and check if that is the case and what we could do with it. And yeah, like I said before, we might also want to exchange yeah, inventory full as always. We might want to exchange those hallways a little bit so that they also come with one version with light in the middle. Then we have windows, and we could here in this case just use the one without light to match the other end. Yeah, so that in my opinion looks a bit better. And over here, yeah, let's get rid of that one. Again, inventory full. Pack too much stuff with me. And let's also use the version with the ceiling light here, because it is quite dark in this area. Well, we're missing light in any case in our storage room, because so far that was mostly a quick finished job, so that we have everything working. Get down here. But yeah, there's still a couple of blocks that are not really finished. Okay. And yeah, okay, that is just a meager amount of space that we gained, but not even sure what is behind those blocks. Maybe nothing, so that we could even make use of that space, but yeah, for now I don't have a very good idea what to do with it, so let's just keep it as it is. Yeah, I will think about that. We could maybe use it for a little bit of energy production later on, maybe with 1 or 2 hydrogen motors to, yeah, give us a little bit of a boost if we need it. But let's keep it at that, because I want to focus on the interior of the other rooms first. Try something quickly, because every time I come around here, it's really irritating that this is not, well, blending it in properly with the other part of this wall. So let's see, what else could we use? Maybe the lockers, but then again, this is missing a blending from the window frame in there. I really dislike that there's no proper part that bridges this. That might work. The laboratory freezer might actually work here. We have a freezer already on the other side for the laboratory itself over there, or for the med bay. But over here, I think it blends in much nicer now. And should we also use some more pipeworks on this side? Like this? Does it make sense? Ah, come on. Yeah, I think that works. Still strange that it's such a thin wall here between the window and those big pipes, and this kind of attachment point that is then not really used, but yeah, we could... I have an idea. Could nicen that up even further. No, we can't, because it's a half block that is inset. I thought I could cover that with a nice created catwalk. But, yeah, no, that's not an option. Oh well, we live with it, how it is. Alright, then. We have everything welded up, and we got a bunch of space on top of our med bay, and also some headspace over here. We have our walkway that comes from the storage facility or storage area, and we have a small tiny area over here. So I was thinking that the top part, first of all, will need more windows, but we could use that for living quarters. Just a bunch of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 smaller areas for beds and everything else. So yeah, I dislike that it's raining again, as always. I don't dislike rain in general, just in the game it's really quite often. But yeah, let's see. I will get going and do some block placements and see what works, and then yeah, we'll discuss what I did. So see you in a bit. Alright, small mistake on my side. I forgot to hit record when trying to build the different living rooms. So I did build a lot of the upstairs parts already. So wanted to give you a quick overview before I continue. And also did some yeah, parts in this area here. So here we have, when coming out of the hallway to the left, we have a door, sliding door with window panels. I still need to finish the colorization here and there, but anyway, you get in here, and this is basically the restrooms. And with a bit of a wash-in basin here to wash your hands, still look out the window to see how the weather is looking like. And one toilet over here. Sadly, the default toilets don't have any doors, which is still strange that they didn't include those. But it does look like it was supposed to contain a sliding door somehow. But anyway, a shower in the middle, and then another set of toilets here. Again, I would expect that to be sliding doors. I might look for a mod that actually does that to give a bit of privacy, because otherwise, well, you don't want to look at your neighbor in front of you when doing your business. And a bit of lighting to, well, give light to this area. And then there's another staircase missing to go upwards, or upstairs, where we have another ladder, or another staircase going up. This will be another set of rooms, but first let's look at this. We have the first room over here that still needs some blocks at the bottom, which we will get to. Which has, yeah, the entertainment system here, a sofa in front of it, then some locker rooms, a private bath area, and something to do some work, and a bed, of course. And that's already it for this room. Then getting to the next one, the neighbor, is a very simple, very simple, well, not emergency, but for just unplanned occasions living room, which has just a bed and the shower area, and actually we might be able to replace that maybe with a locker or something, so that we have a little bit of storage space here. But anyway, it's a very small one. Then we have the last one at the end, going around the corner with a bit of storage and light here. Another shower area and bathroom, and some lockers with bookshelves on the other side, and then a bed with a window. And the only thing I don't really like is the air vent being visible here, but I couldn't figure out a good way to do that otherwise. So let's keep it at that for now. Yeah, and then you have noticed that sometimes the ceiling is now mostly closed. But the underside is sometimes open, like in the very first room here. You can basically fall through the floor. That is because the upstairs area above the med lab will be a laboratory, which I want to set up next. And then again on the top side here we will have another set of living rooms, so that we have basically enough space for all the inhabitants of the space, for doing research, for handling the medical lab, and yeah, working on the drones and so on. So yeah, let me get to that next, and hopefully this time see you around. I need to do some manual mining because our mining drone is still recharging, and we ran out of iron. I did collect a little bit to get some last blocks welded up, but yeah, again, we quite much ran out of it. So I will do that off screen and then get back to building, and yeah, see you in a bit. Alright, I did a little bit of mining and got us some more resources so that we continue building out the base. And before we get to the upper area, I would say we go and finish our research lab, because we need to cover up some of the bottom parts here, and I want to see if anything needs to be changed in the layout to actually make that work. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Yeah, let's see. First of all, we have a bit of extra space here that we could make pretty good use of later on, but what do we actually need in a research lab like that? There's a bit of a problem, I see. We need to give us more building blocks that we can place something on top of. So in that case, where do we have that? I think it's part of this menu here. Is it not? Maybe not. Floor, ground, no. What was it called? Yeah, the catwalk plate. Catwalk doesn't contain it, but this one does. Okay, so let's add that to our rooster of decoration parts, and of course with the dark color again, which we will change later on once done. And of course we need resources for that. So a bit of steel, a bit of interior plating, and some construction components. So where can we place this? Here, here, there, and that's it. That's not an awful lot of places. That is a bit of a problem, because then we don't really have much space to do any actual decorative placement of building parts of rooms. So we have another space here that we can leverage, but then we need to cover this one up again. So let's see, what do we have? I would say we'll go with a maybe passage walls. That might be a good choice here. T-junction, yes we do. And then we need to cover this place up again. So where's the corner? There, cross. So this will be more of a structural building part then. T-junction. Oh, but then we're missing the ground with those. Ah, okay, that doesn't work. So let's see. Instead, we could. What could we use? I think we might be left with only one choice, which is the regular corridor once again, because the other blocks don't really have a floor below them, except for the round ones, but those don't make sense here. So yeah, all right, we go with that. Where is it? T version. Then we have floors here. Here we will need to place something that covers also the bottom part, and then another T section. Another one here. And we should be able to place another floor in this space, though, should we? Yeah. So, with that, why can't I... Oh, okay, because the medical room takes up all 4 blocks, of course. Ah, that's a bummer. Do we have something that can be placed here that has its own flooring? Let's see. Signal, no. Sparks of Future, also no. I mean, we could use an insert kitchen, because then we have some useful parts attached to it. Unless we have something else that makes more sense to use here. Not sure if the lab experiment... Does that have a covered floor? That... Lab experiment. This is shining through, isn't it? Of course I can't even place it because of that. Doing it on the upside, doing it upside down will also not get us what we need. Might actually have to use something like the insert kitchen. Where was that? Panels might also be an option, just to show some diagnostics. But that we can also use over here. It's a bookshelf. Well, for research it would make sense. And the kitchen must be with the survival kit, I guess. It's actually a good cornerstone or corner piece. But in our case, well, this is really problematic. I didn't expect that to be such a big deal here. Didn't think about that. I could, of course, try to come up with something with subgridding, but with bases I usually try to keep that to a minimum to just at least for decoration purposes. I'm not using that because it just complicates the whole setup and makes things quite difficult. Okay, then for research, let's see what we have. We have this kind of piece here, but oh, that would have been nice. You could place it like that. Could cover part of this bottom piece. Can we do something like that? Ooh, yes. Alright, that is good. That is already good. So that gets us covered in this space. So it's like an overseer kind of corner. Someone monitoring a specific experiment from there. And that experiment could be something we do with the experiment blocks. Oh. Yeah, why not? This doesn't make sense. A bit too cramped here. It could be something we can place in here. Well, how does the big experiment look like? How many blocks does it take up? I think it was more than 2. Yeah, it's taking up 3 blocks. Okay. Really use that here, but we have our long lab experiment. That might be something if we just remove this piece over here. We might need to get rid of that. And does it cover up the floor of that room? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, that covers it up enough. For me at least. Alright. I also wanted to get rid of those lockers, as far as I remember. To replace it with something else. What else do we have? Well, this is a conveyor, we can't replace that. We could go with a cabinet instead. Let's quickly finish that up. Okay. Back to this space here. Okay, so we have the bigger experiment looking out from here. And that means we could also do something else with this part here. How about we use a different kind of block? Where is it? Like this. Yeah, because we still need to be able to get around here to the seat. And then we have another empty block here that we need to fill up with something. And for that Let's see. Can't use the experiment blocks. And we need to be able to get around that space. So what else makes sense? Oh. That might be even better. Like this. And then for the ceiling part we could then use, where is it? Missing construction components. Okay, because I was thinking to make that a piece of the ground where you can just look through below into the med lab, and then we can place some more research equipment and stuff over here, and then also make use of those. We still need to cover this part up here. Unless we really remove those lockers and gain ourselves a little bit of space to do some more placements here. We could do it like this, then we have another ceiling and can place something here. And on this side we use our corridor again with a T junction. T intersection or junction. And then I can pass around here, okay. And we can now use some more research equipment. So for example, like this. Maybe like that for another corner. And we have another piece of equipment here. And another one over here maybe. Research. Down to the med lab and some more research over here. An experiment, the inside kitchen to get some coffee during work, and we need to cover this one up as well with another kind of corridor-like block, or we use a different kind of cover up. So, and then we can place something in this small spot. Maybe, let's see, to cover up the ceiling as well. So maybe the armory. That turned around to the other side would be much better fitting. What else do we have? Something that we can enter, but that has a roof and floor, ceiling and floor. So the shower is one option, toilet is another option, but those, I don't know, they don't really make sense here. The bed is the same thing. Inside cryo room, that's a good fit. Right, so inside cryo room. Now that is very well working from my point of view. Okay, we have another place here? No, we don't. Okay, so Here's another space that we freed up, but I'm not sure if that was really that useful. Maybe we just reverted to what it was. So we had, I think it was the weapon rack, but the lockers over here. And then we go with another corridor T intersection. And finally a door to enter that space. Alright, then we still need to hook up the cryo chamber with something. We can't use the top and back side unless no, we can't. Also, this needs to be extended by 1 block, I think, and that means we need to use the bottom side of it. What was on the bottom side here? Oh yeah, that was in our bathroom area, wasn't it? Wasn't it the shower even? It should be... Yeah, it's the shower. And that would work. We can connect that up. So... yeah, then we don't have a shower here. We could instead put the shower maybe... ah well, we don't use a shower here. Full stop. Yeah, let's go with the curved piping, maybe even the visible one. That might be more interestingly looking. And then, yeah, let me weld everything up and show you the rooms how they look like in finished state. Alright, had to collect some more resources in the meantime and to finish up those building blocks. And yeah, this is how it looks like at the moment. It is pretty dark. I need to check what can be done about the lighting. Yeah, we have... actually, let's try to change that this way. Intensity 1? No. 2? Is that already helping? Yeah, a little bit, but still not enough. We need some light at the other end of the room. But yeah, anyway, we have now our entryway here. I did place a troffer light in this spot just to give more light to the room, because it was very dark in here. Actually, I can now, if I see it, also replace that part with the light corridor version. More light in here. Then we have our inset bookshelf as a kind of kitchen. Although, actually I wanted to have the kitchen here, that was the wrong block that I placed. So, other resources for this, like that. Okay, much better. So, inside kitchen, you can wash things, get a coffee, and have some cooking options. We have our experiment running here, which is, well, which also has some areas over here where you can look down, but doesn't matter now. There's a bit of space in here. I know it's not ideal, but that's what the blocks give us to work with. We can sit in our overseer area here to watch the rest of the experiments running and have a bit of experimentation space in these parts, and our cryo chamber at the end. So I think that works for now. Again, I need to come up with a better way to light this area, but unless we really get rid of this and add another troffer light. Do we want that? Oops, that was the wrong block. Let's try it out. So, troffer light. And then something with its own floor. That could be... Actually, that could be something else entirely. I think we have to go with what we had before, which is this specific kind, not this one, but that one of the passageways. Because nothing else really fits the bill. Okay, but then at least we have a bit of lighting here. A bit more lighting. It's 5. Our own light, just to give it another view. Yeah, and this one can be turned around now, that makes more sense. Yeah. That works better in my opinion. Okay, so we have everything in here that we need. And are finished with this room. We have the upstairs room, now with floorboards. Oh, actually... Oh, okay, that is very narrow. But anyway, it works for me. Yeah, we have this kitchen space here, or this space over here. It's a bit annoying that I can't pass through that entirely. But, yeah, it works well enough. A small area here, which I thought might need something else. Let's see, can we... What if we turn this the other way around, and then... What was below here? Right. The ceiling of this area, and... means we can't really do much with it. Only thing that we could change is this corridor part. And replace it with... what did I have in mind? Right. That is behind the corridors. And it is... Well, it will be very cramped. So essentially thinking of this. So when I'm coming in here, this needs to be turned around. Where is it? Narrow door. This way around. So I'm getting to this room. I have a bit of a empty area over here, but we can't do much about that because, well, this would be a perfect fit for a, like an inset bed or something. It wouldn't give us a roof and floor. So instead we have this corridor T intersection, and there's also no T intersection with an integrated light, which is kind of sad. And then we have this narrow space here and a very small bunk bed at the end that you need to crawl into, but at least you have a bit more space here to store something. And I don't know, that kind of looks like a heating thing, But well. The only thing is it correctly turned? No, it's still on its head. Okay. Always missing how this needs to be turned around. And you can only notice it via the labels that it has. Like over here, where was it? Here. Type is written there. That's the only clue that I can see that tells us which orientation that needs. But we are missing some parts. We have them, and let's weld that up and be done with this room. And the last room is the one that has already had everything in, yeah. That is fine. Okay. Good, so we have the living quarters here, 3 of them. Then we will add more at the top. And we have our kind of small research laboratory tract over here. That is part of the medical bay. And when we go into the med bay, how does it look like from there? You can see up the roof or the ceiling. And otherwise it's more or less the same, just that we don't have any windows here anymore, but that doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal. We could... No, we can't exchange them because then this would be extruding too much, even though it would give us a nice... Let's try that anyway, because I would really like to have another window here, and I'm just not sure how it looked like when replacing those blocks with each other. That was this one, I think. That's not bad. It's a bit sad that a part of the window is blocked this way with the fridge, but it's not that bad. Then we can remove this part and add the other window block. Which we can weld up from this side, of course. So now let's take another look, and I like that more. Because the room doesn't have a lot of light on its own, it's basically relying on the truffer light over there shining through, and also the light coming through that grate, and the bit of lighting that comes from the devices themselves. It's not that much, but this way it looks like we get a bit more natural light coming in here, which evens that out. And yeah, now I just need to come up with another kind of ladder here. Maybe the big one, leaving this piece empty and free, and then like so, this area. So that way we can still get to the level, to the bathrooms, lavatory. Wash our hands, get out again, go upstairs, reach the laboratory or research area, and over here we could add another door. Let's say not the sliding door. The glass door, we can use a closed door like this to get to the storage and refinery area and drone hub later on from the upstairs region. Yeah, I think that works. Alright. So, yeah, I think this is something for the next episode, because we are already hitting our 1 hour mark and the episode is long enough. So, yeah, I will do some coloring and painting and detail work for the next episode, and then we can continue where we left off. Finish the upstairs and continue with the storage area. So, thanks for watching and see you next time on Earth.